Hello everyone and welcome back to the Benchwarmers Podcast, and today we are starting
Season 2!
We did it first
Wow,
time.
Jesus Christ.
Basically, today we are starting Season 2. We are massively excited about this because Season 1 was an absolute hit, of course. Not with views. No, I said that.
Just see Jack in the background, just go for
We've got some decent guests on last season. You can check that out. We've got the playlist ready, but today we're starting a new playlist because it's finally here. We thought we'd kick it off with a bang. Obviously, the 2019, that's the wrong year. The 2020/21 Premier League season is fastly approaching. So we thought we'd quickly go over what. Well, not quickly. We're going to do an entire episode on this.
Yeah.
So don't rush.
Well, look at my notes. Then look at yours.
We're going to be going over who we believe will finish where in the Premier League table. Of course, we're going to have different opinions about this. We have talked about it briefly before the podcast started. But other than that, I can see his table and he can see my table. So we've got absolutely no idea what each other is going to say.
No, so we're going to be starting from 20th and going all the way up to 1st.
So I think we should just crack straight on with this, Josh. Do you want to go first on who you've got finishing in the foot of the Premier League table?
Yeah, so at the bottom of the Premier League in 20th place, I have West Bromwich Albion, a newly promoted side. I believe they finished second in the Championship. Now, the reason I put them second is because they only got relegated a couple of seasons ago, and they've not invested, they've not bought anyone. All they've done is just brought people back on loan, and if you just haven't invested in their invested in their squad, which you need to do if you're going to survive in the Premier League.
Yeah, I think West Brom's a bit of a strange one because so far, I could be wrong about this, but the only signings they brought in are Grady Diangana and Matheus Pereira, both on not frees. Pereira wasn't a free.
They're linked with Troy Deeney.
They're very highly linked with Troy Deeney.
Are they?
Yeah, on loan, which whilst I think he'd be a decent signing for them because obviously he's got that Premier League experience. He's had his great moments. Of course, we can't forget that moment very years ago in the playoff semi-final, which was a surprise.
Forestieri, Hogg, Deeney!
That's why his jacket got belly in the background. But anyway, they are linked with him, so I think he'd be a good signing for them. However, they're not really boosting the squad at this rate for me. I think they need to bring in some new, fresher players, I guess, who can really compete at that level, like Leeds have done, and like who else got promoted. Fulham have even done bringing in Anthony Robinson. However, I disagree with Josh. In 20th position, I put Aston Villa, who when I was writing down my notes, they hadn't signed him, but this morning they have completed the signing of Matty Cash. It was their first summer signing from Nottingham Forest.
Not a bad signing, that, actually.
Yeah, I was thinking that. I think he cost them about 12 to 15 million. I could be wrong about that. But it was quite a lot of money, I have to say, for a Championship player. But he deserves his chance in the Premier League. He was linked with AC Milan a few years ago. However, he's going to be playing in, I imagine, a right back because that's where he played at Nottingham Forest. And I think they still need more signings. They are linked with a few decent players like the what's his name? Rangers striker, Alfredo Morelos. They were linked with. Of course, they're very heavily linked with. I think it's Ollie Watkins at Brentford. Again, would be great signings. However, it's a lot of talk right now and not a lot of action. They do need to be bringing these players in. I think if you look at them from last season, they were very. I realise I'm right now. I'm sorry about this. If you look at them from last season, they were all right. However, they were mainly saved by obviously that VAR, cock up, which happened at against Sheffield United. And Jack Grealish was their only decent player when you look back. I think if Grealish gets an injury, if Grealish gets a suspension, or if his head just goes because he might want out, that's their season could be derailed.
Or if he gets picked up on the last day of the season and just swooped from them, and then they've got no one to replace.
Yeah, exactly. I think they do need to bring. If they bring in Ollie Watkins and Alfredo Morelos from Rangers, that could be two very decent signings, and I think that could really help the chances. However, until that happens, I'm going to have to put them at the bottom table. Not enough quality.
Yeah. So in 19th place, I've put also newly promoted Fulham. They're becoming a bit of a yo-yo club at the minute.
Yeah.
Up and down, and they've got Scott Parker in charge in it. Yeah, he's not. He's not even turned 40. He's not an experienced manager by any means. They got destroyed by quite a few teams in the Championship. Never mind what.
They're always a bit of a strange club because I could never see them getting promoted until they actually got to the playoff final.
No, but even in the playoff final, it was a very poor playoff final. Let's admit it. Yeah. But even then, they never look like. They don't look like a Premier League team. They didn't in the Championship. They got beat quite a few times by teams in the Championship, and coming up to the Premier League, what the likes of Man City, I know obviously they're all top Premier League teams, but they're just going to get destroyed again and go straight back down.
Yeah.
Again.
I'm going to disagree about that, but I'll talk about that later. I've gone for in 19th place West Ham United. Yeah, West Ham United. Sorry, mine's gone blank. They've only made one signing so far, and that was Thomas. I don't know how to pronounce his name. Souček.
I don't know.
Who played for them last season on loan. So again, they've not really added any more quality or depth to the squad other than making a loan signing a permanent one. So he was there last season anyway. They've let go of some decent players. They've let go of Albion Ajeti, who went to Celtic, and judging from a few fans that I know on Twitter, he was apparently a really good prospect, and a lot of them wanted to see him fighting for his place next season, but West Ham have cashed in on him and let him go before he's really had his opportunity. Along with that, they've let go of Ngakia, completely butchered that name, but he's gone to Watford to fight for more first team football, I imagine. I just think West Ham need more players. I don't rate the manager. David Moyes. I don't rate him. He's not been the same since the Everton days, of course. He's had stints at Man United and Real Sociedad, I think it was. Was that him? Or was that... whatever. Anyway, I just don't rate him as a manager. I think, honestly, West Ham, they need a rebuild. And I think if they go down, they could possibly have that rebuild at Championship level. I think it could be one of the best things that could happen to that club.
Yeah, but it could be. I wouldn't say it'd be a good thing that could happen because then you've got a 60,000 seater stadium in the Championship with a hell of a lot of debt.
Yeah. Especially with obviously all the implications going on right now.
I know, and they'd sell half the squad because they're all on too big of wages and they're all on Premier League football because they're all egomaniacs. Yeah. Right, into 18th place now, I've put Aston Villa. So obviously I'm not going to go into massive depth on them because Gab touched upon that with them finishing bottom. But what I do think is, if they lose Jack Grealish, Aston Villa are finishing bottom of the Premier League. If they lose Grealish, they're finishing bottom.
Yeah, agree.
I know you were just watching Jack then.
Sorry.
And if there was a bit of a camera shake, then
we won't talk about
it.
No. Anything else on Aston Villa?
No, because you said it all.
Yeah, and it's a bit weird because in 18th place I put who Josh put in 20th place, West Brom, who we've had a big discussion about, obviously with Dini and all that. I wanted to add one more thing about West Brom. I agree massively about them being a yo-yo club, and I feel like they do need some level of stability. However, Slaven Bilic, who's their current manager, I really do like him as a manager, and I think if a manager was going to stabilise them in the Premier League, it could be him.
Yeah, it would be him, but they need signings.
Agreed. They just need signings or new players to come in to really rejiggle. That's the wrong word. The squad. Rejuvenate. That's a good word. Nice one.
Thank you.
Really
rejuvenate A-level English.
The squad and make them, a Premier League club again.
Yeah. So 17th place. You done that? 17th place now. I've put Crystal Palace. I know Gab has not put Crystal Palace.
No.
But the reason I've gone for Palace is because Roy Hodgson will be sacked before the end of the season. There is no doubt in my mind he will be sacked before the end of the season. Zaha should leave, and he most likely will leave. And if he does, then they've genuinely got no one because you've got Christian Benteke, and I know they've brought in that. Eze from
QPR.
Red, yeah, that one.
God, I forgot I said that.
That one from QPR, thank you. And yeah, he was a decent player in the Championship, but can he step up in the Premier League with him? I know he's 22, he's not exactly young, but can he prove himself in the Premier League? No, he can't. So that's why I put Crystal Palace in 17th because he's their long-term Wilfried Zaha replacement, and I just can't see him or them doing anything.
It's a risky move, really. I feel like
you need, if you're going to replace Zaha, you need to bring in a Premier League proven.
Yeah,
they could have gone for Aston Villa and just brought in someone like John McGinn.
Yeah, or even a player who got relegated. No, it's like Todd Canwell.
Or get an Ollie Watkins.
Yeah,
he'd banged loads of goals. He's going to be a perfect Zaha replacement instead of going for someone who got less goals. Probably wasn't as consistent as Ollie Watkins in Eze. It's just bonkers. So yeah, they're going to finish 17th.
I've put in 17th place Newcastle United. I feel like with the whole Magpies Magpie situation, it's been a bit unfortunate.
Wait, what?
I don't know what I'm on about.
Magpie's their nickname.
Yeah, it is. That's what I meant. Yeah, sorry. The Toon. Is it the Toon?
What?
I don't know what I'm on
about. What about the takeover?
Yeah, the takeover's been very underwhelming for them because obviously I don't know what's happening with it now, but it's
not happening.
It's not happening.
It's not happening.
So again, they feel like they have one of those practically every summer now with Mike Ashley and all their problems going on there. But I feel like some of the signings they brought in, Jeff Hendrick on a free transfer wasn't terrible. However, I feel like they do need better than Hendrick from Burnley. It was like the big clubs, but I think if Newcastle United want to be pushing up this season, they're going to need it. I think they badly need a striker as well because Joelinton, he's just not done it in the Premier League for them. To say the price he came in for, and I think no matter what happens to Joelinton, obviously he could go bang 80 goals, not going to happen. But he could go have an amazing season and get sold on. But for now, he's been one of the biggest flops that the Premier League has seen in a very long time. just for his price tag and his age, and he's just not been able to do it. And again, I just think Steve Bruce is not the man to get it out of Joelinton, and not the manager. What am I about? The manager to get Newcastle really pushing. We'll talk about this on the way in the car to the podcast. We have a car now. He has a car. I
have a car now.
Not me. But I think with Bruce, he's just a championship standing manager, and I think if the club want to move forward, we need to get rid of Ashley and we need to get rid of Bruce. But I think they'll scrape on the final day and stay up.
Yeah, so in 16th place, I have put West Ham.
We did it again.
I know. I've put West Ham. Yes, they could go down, but I do think they're too big of a side to go down. I think David Moyes has it in him just to drag them out of it. But their first 7 fixtures, I think they played practically the entire top 6. And it wouldn't surprise me if they're bottom by Christmas. It honestly would not surprise me if they are bottom of the league by Christmas. David Moyes gets sacked. They bring in like for Sam Allardyce or a Rafa Benitez, because we all know the West Ham board bum over Rafa Benitez. So they'll bring him in and he'll steer them clear of relegation because he can bring a team together. So it might be they'll finish 16th, 5 or less than 5 points outside the relegation zone, but they will stay up. But like I said, it would not surprise me if they are bottom at Christmas.
Yeah, they might be able to do what Watford just missed out on last season, maybe. I put Fulham, so we've completely swapped positions again. Quickly on Fulham, I think they made some decent signings in Anthony Robinson, Mario Lemina, and Harrison Reed coming in a permanent transfer. I think they're all good players who are Premier League quality. Robinson, I'm surprised the club didn't take a chance on him earlier. He was linked with a few other clubs, I think. At one point he was linked with Liverpool to be the player as backup to Robertson, but eventually they got that Greek left back, I can't remember his name.
Begins to see.
Yeah, it's really complicated.
I think.
But I think that's a really good side for Fulham. It means they're going to be able to play... no, I'm on about the wrong guy. Sorry, forget that. I'm just saying, I want to say a quick thing about Scott Parker, because obviously you said he's young, he's not even 40 years old, he's not got the Premier League experience. I think he could be one of the most underrated managers of the season. Obviously, you look at a Frank Lampard, who in his first year of management at Derby, lost that in the playoff final, I think it was, to someone, I can't remember who. But obviously, Aston Villa, that right. He straight away got a job at Chelsea, and obviously that's because he's a big legend of that club and everyone loves him. However, you look at Parker, he's been able to do what Lampard hasn't been able to do and get his club to the playoff final, which Lampard could. But he actually took them the next step, took them to the Premier League, and now he's going to be able
Fulham had a better squad than Derby.
That's true, but he's going to be able to do it, hopefully, a job in the Premier League. And I think he's just shown he has the motivation and the grit, maybe, to just push his side forward. Have I got anything else? I think Mitrovic, as well, could be an absolute huge player. If he can keep him fit and they can actually play to his qualities, we could see him an absolute, wonder of a season. He did it in the Championship. He's probably the most, when he was in the Championship, he was probably the most feared striker.
He's the top scorer.
Yeah, exactly. Definitely the most feared striker then. But hopefully we don't do a replica of a few seasons ago where obviously they spent all that money and it turned into nothing.
Yeah.
Became a bit of a banter club for it.
Yep. In 15th place, I put Brighton. I think Graham Potter's a decent manager. He'll just steady them clear, and I know some Brighton fans I've seen on Twitter want about 10th, 11th place to try and push up to the top half of the table. But at the end of the day, you stay up this season. That's going to be your 5th season in the Premier League then. Yeah. Which, if you think back to 2017 when you got promoted, never in a million years would anyone have thought Brighton would be in their 4th season now and potentially going into the 5th.
Did they get promoted with Huddersfield?
What?
Did they get promoted with Huddersfield?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just checking.
Yeah, well,
yeah.
Yeah, so that's my 15th place with Brighton.
In 15th place, I put Crystal Palace. Of course, Josh Fotler finished in 17th. We're close-ish with that. I think that, obviously, I talked about in the previous podcast with where we talked about who missed out on the England squad. Eberechi Eze, still can't pronounce it.
I just said Eze.
Yeah, Eze. I think he could be turned out to be an absolute quality signing. Again, needs to play to his qualities, but future England midfielder, definitely. I think he could replicate what Grealish has potentially done, and maybe even going to be a bit of a steal for Crystal Palace. Obviously, he's wanted by Fulham as well. I think he could possibly go on to much greater things than Palace. Along with Nathan Ferguson, who's joined from West Bromwich Albion, the free transfer. He's only 18 years old, but I think that's a great signing. He was doing it in the Championship for West Brom. They just need a bit of a push right now, and I think, like Sykes said earlier about Benteke, and if Zaha leaves, they need a striker, like an out-and-out striker who can just do bits to them. They've got their playmaker in Eze, and even a defender in Ferguson. We just need that one striker who can just absolutely smash it for them, and that's all they need right
Just
now.
saying, Crystal Palace, if I am available, just drop us a comment or like DM us on Twitter. Yeah, I see you. I see you.
Just adding on to Crystal Palace then. I did an article on them recently just talking about them because they actually have the oldest average age of squad in the entire Premier League, and the fact that they also didn't even give out a young player of the season this season because they physically didn't have one in the side.
Jesus Christ.
I think they had maybe no players under the age of 23, something like that. It was absolutely ridiculous. Obviously, they brought in Eze and Ferguson now, who will change that, but I think...
Well, Eze is like 22, so he will really make
Yeah, mainly Ferguson, then he was 18 odd years old. I think if it implement
18
that...
odd years old, brilliant.
Like
Brilliant.
He might have had a birthday between now and then, I've got no idea. If they can replicate his sort of... What I mean about... If they can implement this youth, then he can just be much better for the squad, because you need a bit of youth in there.
Yeah. Right, in 14th place, I've gone for it. Jack, can you have your music any louder? Seriously.
Can I hear it from here? Alright, 40th place.
Yeah, we'll know what we'll do. Just cut out from when I said 14th place. We'll just come back in now. In 14th place, then, I have put Leeds United. Slightly controversial because I know quite a few Leeds fans are saying, "Oh, we're going to go straight and play in Europe. We've got too good of a squad to finish in the bottom half of the Premier League."
Leeds fans are the most annoying fans you'll ever meet. Oh my god!
But no, Leeds, you do not have a good enough squad to finish in Europe. You don't even have a good enough squad to finish in the top half of the Premier League. Your marquee signing is Rodrigo from Valencia, who last season, let me not remind you, scored 4 goals. 4 goals, and he's your record signing. Your Bamford replacement.
Rodrigo, please come on the podcast. Look for it, didn't you?
But seriously, he's your record signing, he's your marquee signing, and he scored 4 goals. Can he do it in the Premier League? No. Can Leeds do it in the Premier League?
No.
The only reason I'm not putting them being relegated is because Bielsa's too good of a manager to get them relegated. So, 14th place. Sorry, Leeds fans, but if you finish any higher than 14th, then I'll think of something this year and let you know.
I put in 40 players. Sorry, I'm just quickly doing something. I've put Burnley. I feel like they had I'm sorry, I don't know when they finished last season. Was it 10th or something like that?
It's probably mid-table.
They had a very decent season last season, I believe, under Sean Dyche. And I like him as a manager. I think he's one of the I think he's one of the best managers in the Premier League due to just the resources he has and what he's had to work with. Obviously, they've got a bit of reputation. I'm not going to say it, but they're 10th position. It's good league table finish that for Burnley. They just need some signs because they haven't actually brought anyone in yet, as far as I'm concerned. And just for that reason alone, I don't think they'll do as well as last season because you've seen some of the other clubs in this league. They've massively bolstered the squad. It's a lot better league, I believe, than it was last year. Because it was obviously awful last year.
It was.
So I just feel like Burnley, they need a few more signings, and when they bring those signings in, they can get really good. They're linked with, I forgot his name, I think it's Matt Grimes from Swansea, who's currently Swansea City captain, who I think would be a really good signing for them because obviously they need a midfielder now. Jeff Hendricks left. But yeah, 14th place for Burnley for me.
Yeah, in 13th place then, I've put Newcastle. I've put them in 13th because, yes, they haven't brought that many people in. Yes, they've got Steve Bruce, the dinosaur, in charge. But if you think that Steve Bruce has the most years managing a Premier League club, he's got the most Premier League experience out of everyone. He's got more years in the Premier League than Jose Mourinho, than Jurgen Klopp, than... This is literally it. But he's got... I think he's had 11 years in the Premier League, managing different teams. So I think he's got enough experience to keep them well above relegation. So 13th place for Newcastle.
Yeah, and I've gone for Brighton and Hove Albion. Obviously, Josh thought they finished in 15th place. You put. They finished in 15th place last season. However, I think they will improve.
Did they?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
They made some decent signings.
Proves how much research I did.
They've done some really good signings in Joel Veltman and Adam Lallana. Obviously, Dendoncker as well.
Yeah, but they sold Aaron Moy.
Aaron Moy wasn't a good player.
He was actually for them. He was a decent player for them.
I think one player that will break out for them, which I was talking briefly to Jack about before, is Emerson, who's recently joined from Oldham Athletic. I think he could be really decent if he comes in.
I know, he's come from Oldham.
No idea who he is. 15 years old, and he's improved in League 2, so clearly worth a shot in Premier League.
Oh my god, he's younger than us. He's the same age as Jack.
They got for him?
No, I'm not sure.
Do you know how much they got for him?
I think
because I thought that's what you're going to do there.
No, I think they got a decent amount, but I'll give it after. Anyway, Brighton, I think they've got some decent signings in. They're definitely building a good squad, and I like Graham Potter, like Sykes said before. I think there'll be well clear relegation this season. That's for definite. I agree with some of them wanting to get a higher table. However, was it you said they're wanting to finish around top 10ish?
Yeah, I've seen some people say they want to finish 11th, 10th.
I think when I was doing this table, I was like, who I would think would where. I found it really hard to do a top 10 because I think it's so close this year. So I think top 10 is a bit of a push for Brighton. However, if they can get Neil Maupay firing on all cylinders up front, maybe even bringing a winger to help support him, I think there could be a real force to reckon with this season.
Yeah. So into 12th place now, I have put Burnley. I know Gab's touched on them before, so I'm not gonna go into massive depth. But Burnley, they just play classic League Two football in the Premier League. If I'm honest,
That's completely.
Sean Dyche he's a good manager. He'll keep them comfortably in the Premier League. I don't see them struggling really. So 12th place, just below mid-table, because the teams above them, in my opinion, are better.
Yeah, I've gone for Leeds United. Obviously, Josh touched on it before. We're going to get reaching that point now. It's painful to say. I think they'll have a really good season in the Premier League. Well, for say it's the first season, not on Sheffield United's level, but still very decent. Bielsa's just too good of a manager to get relegated, and they have a great Premier squad already. They had it in the Championship, to be honest with you. I actually wrote down here because I agree with you. Rodrigo will flop. He's just not good enough.
It's wrote, Mr. A-level English. It's wrote down, not written down.
Rodrigo will flop because he wasn't even really good enough in La Liga, and the Premier League's a lot harder league, especially God knows Messi comes. I'm not a defender.
We're going to get onto that later on because I've got an interesting opinion about Messi.
We will, but I think he just hasn't got it. 4 goals, not really good enough for a striker who they want to put leading. No better than Bamford. Bit harsh actually. I think Robin.
Why is that? Because Bamford's better.
I think Robert Koch will be a quality sign. I think he's already a German international, and that international experience could be huge for them. If they can implement the youth again, it'd be great because they're very well known for doing it, and they've had a lot of players signed to join the youth squad. They just need a winger, that's all really, and then obviously they're linked with Rodrigo de Paul from Udinese for 30 to 35 million. I think he's much better than Ryan Kent, and I think he could be a great signing.
30 million?
Yeah, he's decent apparently. Although
he's Udinese.
Supposedly, no other clubs are willing to match that valuation except Leeds, which might be saying something about him. And
yeah,
maybe
Leeds are stupid.
Maybe even a goalkeeper. They've got Casilla and they've got that Meslier guy, I think his name is.
Yeah, the young lad.
Yeah, however, I think if you're going to have your first in the Premier League, you want some experience. And Casilla, he's racist. And Meslier is just... Yeah, he got banned quite a lot of games last season for being racist, apparently.
Fair enough.
Leeds. And Meslier is just inexperienced to me. However, I hope they do well. You know, find the flag for Yorkshire.
Well, no, I hope Sheffield United do better, which leads us perfectly onto 11th place, where this is the first point that we both agree on.
That was
that was shocking. Oh, look at that. So, in 11th place, we have both put Sheffield United. Yeah. Obviously, last season they were going very, very strong and then dropped off after we came back from the coronavirus pandemic and it was behind closed doors. I don't think they'll have as good a season purely for the fact that I think second season syndrome will kick in, just not as badly as it did to someone like Huddersfield. I think mid-table, 11th place, that's about right, if I'm honest.
Yeah, I think with Sheffield United, they've done quite well to replace Dean Henderson, bringing in Ramsdale.
Yeah, Aaron Ramsdale from Bournemouth.
Yeah, I think that's a good signing for them. I believe Henderson would be really difficult to replace because obviously
he was so good.
Yeah, he's going to go on to become Manchester United's number 1 goalkeeper.
And hopefully England, because we all know my opinion on
that's you, of course, Jack.
Because we all know my opinion on Jordan Pickford for England.
Yeah, hopefully it will be England's keeper because I agree with that. But again, Chris Wilder, absolute world-class manager. What he did last season, he was fantastic. And I also put here they should look at Brentford for options. Looking at Ollie Watkins, Said Ben Rama, even Brian Mbeumo on the wing. I think if they could bring one of those in, they'd have a much stronger squad and a better chance of achieving top 10 once again. Hopefully we do. And best luck, Sheffield United.
Yeah, so in 10th place, there's 2 in a row we agree on now. Southampton. I'll let you talk about Southampton.
Where did they finish last season? 11th place. So we both believe they'll improve, which is something. But I believe if they're going to do that, they need to replace Pierre-Emile Højbjerg. Is that his name?
Yes.
Or Pierre-Emerick? Pierre-Emile.
Pierre-Emile Højbjerg.
Yeah. I believe they do need to replace him because obviously he's gone to Tottenham Hotspur. Salisu, the new centre-back they brought in, I believe he's going to be their signing this season. He'll be playing for Liverpool in a few years' time. I've watched some clips of him. I really like how confident he is on the ball.
The only reason you're saying he's going to play for Liverpool is because
Liverpool link, yeah. He reminds me a lot of Van Dijk, weirdly enough, because I've seen highlights of him. He just looks very comfortable on the ball, and I believe he could be fantastic. Hopefully we see another absolute standout season for Danny Ings, but he deserves it after all the torment he went through at Liverpool, not really breaking into the squad, and hopefully he can prove he's not a one-season wonder. And I've also put we need a top midfielder to partner James Ward-Prowse.
Well, Danny Ings obviously had a great season last year, 1 goal behind Jamie Vardy in the Golden Boot race, but hopefully can recreate it again and push into Euros for next season, because on his day he's a brilliant player. He really is.
Yeah, absolutely.
In 9th place now, oh my god, we've got a hat-trick. Everton.
And the one after us as well. And the one after that.
Oh! So yeah,
Jesus Christ.
In 9th place I've gone for Everton. Obviously under Carlo Ancelotti they're too good to finish in the bottom half, but they've spent a lot of money over the past few years on nothing.
Yeah.
You've got the likes of Richarlison, Sigurdsson, Iwobi.
It's all players who have done well at debatably smaller clubs in the Premier League and then have come to Everton and just not quite done it.
Well, yeah, but we all know Sigurdsson was a disastrous signing, not worth 50 million, and he's past it. Richarlison, 40 million from Watford, decent signing. He's done all right, but not worth 40 million. And I'm hoping you're going to go into what his Barcelona link now and what the price tag they've put on him.
I was going to say, do you know Sigurdsson was playing for Crewe Alexandria?
Not at all what I was saying. I was hoping he'd lead on Richarlison.
I wasn't listening to what you were saying, to be honest with you.
Right, so yeah, obviously Richarlison has been linked with Barcelona, and Everton want 149 million for him.
It's ridiculous. How old is he now? He must be 23, maybe 24.
Probably. He's in his 20s. And obviously then you've got Iwobi, 40 million from Arsenal. If they'd have waited a season and paid like 16 million more, they would have got Leroy Sané. Or could have got Leroy Sané. Well, obviously they're linked with James Rodriguez. Apparently he's having a medical at Everton. If they get him, then it's just they're not going to get into Europe.
You're right.
Well, I like James Rodriguez as an okay player. Do I think he can push them into Europe? No, and you clearly agree. Carlo Ancelotti's a good manager. He gave him another season, 9th place.
Yeah, I think agreeing with James Rodriguez. Also on a medical right now is Alan from Napoli. I think he could be a great player in midfield, but that's only because I've known him off FIFA. He's really good in FIFA. James Rodriguez, however, I believe he will become just as good as he was. I think it was 2014 maybe, or 2014.
Yeah, the World Cup.
Yeah,
which is when Real Madrid bought him from Monaco.
Yeah, Monaco I think it was. He was incredible for Colombia that summer, or whatever it was. Yeah, that volley that he scored, that was beautiful.
Goal of the tournament.
I think if Ancelotti can get that back out of him, we could really be seeing the best of him. I don't know how old he is now, but he must be cracking on.
He's knocking on. I think he's near 30.
Yeah, and
don't you go looking back.
I want to look out for Moise Kean this season. I feel like
I don't.
It was awful last season, being completely honest, but he's young. I think he's only like 19, 20 years old now. Calvert-Lewin, he's an absolute phenomenal player. Is he from England?
Yeah.
Is he in the squad? He's not in the squad, is he?
No.
I believe we should have included him last week. He deserves to be in the squad. I really rate Dominic Calvert-Lewin.
He doesn't.
But if Keane could possibly maybe partner alongside him, Ancelotti could really get the best out of him. I don't really have anything else to add.
Ancelotti and Moise Kean. I mean, you've got the Italy link, but
yeah.
Do I think Moise Kean can push on in the Premier League? No.
I mean, he once had so much potential at Juventus. So when Everton brought him in, everyone was like, "This is a statement."
He wasn't cheap either.
Exactly. How much were about 20-something million? Wasn't it?
I think it was more than that. But anyway, whilst Gab googles that, we will go on to 8th place, which again we both agree on, as Wolverhampton Wanderers. Now, in the year, 2 seasons have been in the Premier League now, they haven't finished lower than
27.5 million.
You call it 30 million because it's plus add-ons.
Yeah. 30 million for Moise Kean.
Obviously, they haven't finished lower than 7th whilst he's been back in the Premier League. I think that's only 2 years. But obviously, we are both predicting them to finish lower than 7th in 8th place. They haven't really brought anyone in, let's face it. They've lost a couple of players. They haven't replaced them. Raul Jimenez could be going, and I don't think it'll leave them enough time to bring anyone in to replace him. And obviously his link with Dama Traore this season, the season just gone, has been, I think, one of the best partnership in terms of goal contributions in England, potentially
like
in Europe.
Any decent striker with the pace and just work rate of Dama Traore, they get like that though.
Yeah,
that makes sense. Yeah, I'm sure. Add on to that, obviously the heavy link with Ainsley Maitland-Niles of Arsenal,
who's just been called into England squad.
Do you think he'd be a decent signing?
No, I don't like him.
I'm not a fan. Obviously, they just brought him back up from as well. They brought in Luke Matheson, who, of course, came in from Rochdale. He signed in January, but went back on loan. But he's officially coming to Wolves now to be part of their youth squad and obviously back up to potentially Maitland-Niles or whoever they do eventually bring him right back. Myself and Jack have seen him live a few times. At 16 years old, he was still doing his GCSEs at the same time as us, which is a big wake-up call. Whilst he's scoring goals against Manchester United, we're here.
You're failing maths.
To failing maths. I passed maths.
I'm not clapping that because it was only a predicted grade.
It counts as a pass.
No, if you'd have sat the exam, you'd have failed, mate. So.
Oh my god. Alright. Where were we? Yeah.
7th place. 7th place is Leicester, which we again agree on. To us right now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in a row.
Oh, damn.
I know, 5 in a row we agree on. Yeah, Leicester. Their bad form will continue into this season. Obviously, they've not had a good 2020. If I'm honest, since January they've been knocking off. They missed out on Champions League because of their poor form. Obviously, they're playing European football now. Their squad is the depth in the squad isn't brilliant. They need a backup for Jamie Vardy. At the end of the day, he'll be turning 34 this year, and he will not be performing at the heights he was last season for the next couple of years. So they definitely need to bring in a replacement for him. I'm going to go back to Ollie Watkins again. Someone like him, young, fast, the exact same style as Vardy, ball over the top, control, shoot, finish. Someone like him is who they need if they want to keep playing the style of football that they're renowned for playing.
Yeah.
They need more depth as well. Like I said, their squad is too small for a European campaign and a Premier League campaign. I think they'll focus more on Europe, probably just to try and maybe get into the into the knockout stages, which will then affect their league form, which is why I believe they'll finish 7th outside of Europe.
Yeah. I think Leicester, like Josh said, they need more signings. They haven't actually brought anyone in yet.
I forgot about Chilwell. He's gone to Chelsea.
Yeah, obviously Ben Chilwell's departed the club for I think it was 50 million.
Yeah, 54 million, something like that.
Yeah, he's going to Chelsea. Badly need to replace him. They are currently linked with Timothy Castagne. Absolutely butchered that name. Plays for Atalanta. Defender, obviously playing the Champions League. I think he could be a really good signing. He's been linked with bigger clubs. I think he's perfect for Leicester, to be honest with you. 21.5 million. That's decent. It's just under half of Chilwell's price tag. So I think he's young. He could really do a job for them. Obviously, not brilliant signings. Are also linked with Florian Thauvin, otherwise known as T-Towel, if Jack can remember that. He remembers it from the good old days. Anyway, but yeah, I think again he'd be a really good signing. They do need to bring some players in. Like I just said about backup to Vardy, he's getting on a bit now. I don't think he'll have as good a season as last season, just because the league's harder, if we're being honest, and he's getting on a bit. But yeah, Watkins, again, like you said before, we keep going back to him. There's a reason we keep going back to him, because he deserves playing in the Premier League. He's got the quality. He fits so many teams in the Premier League style of play, and he's young. I think he'd be a perfect signing for Leicester, to be honest. Yeah.
Into European qualifications now, we have gone to 6th place, who I have put Tottenham in 6th. They haven't. Yes, they brought in Matt Doherty and Højbjerg from Southampton. Do I think they'll make a difference? No, not really. They're decent players, but are they the type of players Tottenham need? No. If we're going to be brutally honest, they're not. 6th place is probably realistic. Obviously, no Amazon documentary this time. The 6th place is realistic, if I'm honest. I think it's where they finished this season.
Yeah, I've gone for Arsenal because Arsenal didn't have a great season last season. They've not really brought in too many players I can think of. Obviously, they just brought in Gabriel, I'd imagine it's pronounced.
From Lille.
Yeah, I do like, however, Arteta as a manager. I think obviously he's learned from the best under Guardiola. I like his style of play, but he's trying to get Arsenal to do him. They just need a better defence. They've got a great attacking Lacazette and obviously Aubameyang, who I believe next season will be the Premier League top scorer. I just think he's a quality player and he has it all at his disposal.
I don't think he will be.
We'll find out who you think it will be. Do you have anyone in mind?
If Kane can stay fit, it's going to be Harry Kane, Raheem Sterling, or Timo Werner.
Okay. I completely forgot about Werner. I think also with Maitland-Niles potentially departing and Hector Bellerin is linked with a move to PSG, they could be losing both the right backs and then they're going to need a new right back in. I don't know if it's like Gabriel is actually. I imagine he's a centre back.
I think he's a centre half, yeah.
But I think they've got a decent defence. If they can get Kieran Tierney playing well, Gabriel, obviously they've got that William Saliba, is it, who was on loan at Saint Etienne, I want to say, last season, something like that. They've got a very young defence. It's definitely one for the future. We just need a better right back in. Obviously, a new backup goalkeeper, because it looks like Emiliano Martinez will be departing the club because he wants first team football.
He should be signed ahead of Berliner. Put it out there. He should be Arsenal's number one.
The stuff that guy's been through, he has got grit in him. But yeah, I like Arteta. I think they could do very well this season. A big improvement from last season, definitely.
Yeah, 100%. Which is why I put Arsenal in fifth. The way they played in the Community Shield against Liverpool and the way they played in the FA Cup final and the last season against Manchester City, I think they'll finish higher than Tottenham. Arteta's a good manager. Do they have enough to get them into the top four? No, because they don't spend money. They need a new goalkeeper. They need a solid defence. They need a solid midfield, and their attack's fine. So if they can sort out everywhere but the attack, then yes, they'll get top four, but they won't get top four, so they're finishing fifth.
Just a quick point about Arsenal. I think if they can really maybe give, I don't know how to pronounce his first name, is it Bukayo Saka?
Saka, yeah.
Yeah, Saka. I think this could really be his breakout season. Obviously did well last season.
Well, he's just taken the number 7 shirt. He played unbelievable in the Community Shield. Outstanding.
He could be such a player for Arsenal this season. He definitely one of the best players.
Did you see the pass to Aubameyang for their first
goal?
Right, so he gets the ball on the right, runs it up the line, sees Aubameyang, zero effort, plays a cross-field ball straight across the pitch to Aubameyang, who takes a couple of touches and whips it in the far post. Outstanding pass and outstanding game. No, Jacket is not reminiscent of you.
Left footed. He's only 18 years old, so he's literally like a year older than us. He's just, what a player. He's got it going well, except Jack, because Jack's a baby. I've put Manchester United to finish in 5th position. I like Man United, I do, and I think, well, before we actually started, we were talking about doing this episode about 2 weeks ago, and you were talking about putting Man United in first place, weren't you?
Yeah, they were going to be my outside bet, but I'll get onto that later.
Yeah, I think obviously they're just starting Donny van de Beek, or Van de Beek, I think it's actually pronounced, who took number 34 to tribute to Abdul Haq Nouri, who of course had his who collapsed on the pitch. So it's a great gesture by him, and obviously he was childhood best friends with him, which is great to see.
Did not know that.
Yeah, that's why I like him as a player. I think he's going to be an absolutely fantastic signing for Manchester United. If they can have Pogba, Bruno Fernandes and him in the midfield, that could potentially be the best midfield trio in the entire league.
Or world.
Yeah, in the world, really. It's just a defence. If they can improve at defence, and, Maguire's a liability. He's a fridge. He's an absolute fridge.
We all know our opinion on Maguire. We all know our opinion on Lindelof. We all know our opinion on Wan-Bissaka. We all know our opinion on Luke Shaw and David De Gea. So
I just don't like him. I'm not going to say it to his face, but don't get me wrong. See what I did in Greece, but
I'd quite happily do it to his face. But obviously, we all know our opinion on De Gea, where Dean Henderson should be number 1, and the actual 4 defenders are useless. Wan-Bissaka's one of the best one-on-one fullbacks in the world. Can he get forward like a proper fullback should nowadays? No, so therefore he stays back. The other 3 in defence are liabilities. They need a new left back and 2 new centre halves, because I don't like Maguire, and Lindelof's like a B-Tech Maguire.
I think with Man United, I think left back position and Brandon Williams. I do like Brandon Williams.
So do I.
And I think
we talked about him in the final episode of season 1.
I think him and Wan-Bissaka on either side, that could work potentially. It's just those 2 centre backs, but obviously they're linked with Dyer Upamecano. Well, it's a bit up in the air right now, because a lot of journalists are reporting saying they're in for him. Sorry. But then again, there was, I saw it on Twitter last night how it's all apparently fake, something like that.
Yeah, but the thing about Upamecano, I like him. I really do. In the Champions League for RB Leipzig, he was outstanding. Unbelievable display. Don't ask me who it was against, because I can't remember. But it was an unbelievable display. Brilliant. Got forward, got back. I don't think he didn't really lose a duel, if I'm honest. When you look back into the Bundesliga, he was rash. Stupid at times.
Yeah.
He got in one of the games, and I'm going to keep going back to this because for a centre half you can't do it. He was booked earlier on in the game, and then got booked again not long afterwards for kicking the ball into the stands because he gave away a foul and got booked for booting the ball away and got sent off. It's decisions like that which Manchester United don't need, because they need a solid defence. So yes, he's a good defender. but he's too rash.
And talking of Rashford up top.
Oh my
That
god.
was the worst I've ever done. Rashford up top, I think he could be a really good this season. Martial, I don't see him as an out-and-out striker.
I do.
Despite the fact he was giving them a 9, I think I prefer him on the wing.
I don't. I think this season, the season just gone, Rashford and Martial both getting 22 or 23 goals, I think it was, from out wide and up top because they switch. So that's a good partnership. Then you got Greenwood, who will hopefully play a full season out on that right wing.
From Bradford.
That front three is very, very, very quick, and when Greenwood's on his day, he doesn't miss.
Yeah, I mean, he's got, say his age, I don't know how old he is, 18, is it 19?
Yeah, something like
Very
that.
young. He's got such a powerful shot, I would not want to be in net front of them.
I could take him!
Oh, for God's sake. Moving on to 4th position, I believe we've gone for the same team we have.
We have. And sorry, Liverpool fans, but it's you.
We don't like you.
That's not the reason.
That's my reason. Jesus Christ.
No, so they haven't brought in reinforcements. They've got a squad. They're going to do a Tottenham. Tottenham didn't bring anyone in last season and finish as low down as they did. Teams higher than them are better. In my opinion, what I've put down. Firmino's, I don't like him as a striker. Yes, he's all right. He can drop what? Yes, he can drop back and he can make assists, but he doesn't score. Salah's not going to perform this season. Mane's what is going on? Mane is good.
World class.
If they can get Thiago, then they'll do all right. But it's 4th place for Liverpool. They need to bring in some proper reinforcements. Although this morning I did read, it came up on my Twitter this morning, or it might have been last night, either one. Jurgen Klopp has inquired about Kylian Mbappe.
Oh, I saw that, but have you seen the film? It's like they apparently bid 20 million for him. Just to like test the waters.
Oh, yes.
So it's a Liverpool thing.
How much do you want Mbappe? 300 million. How will 20 do?
It's just so stingy.
Send him on a packet of crisps.
Throw some sausages in there, we're all good.
Maybe a dime bar.
We saw them drop off a bit at the end of the season. Obviously, it could massive depend if they get Thiago or Mbappe in. However, I'm just thinking.
Can you imagine Mbappe and Messi in the Premier League? Mental.
Imagine in League 2.
I think they would do very well. You know,
imagine
another day, but in League 2, I think it's too tough and gritty for them.
Yeah, it is.
Like the pitch just doesn't work for them.
No.
You get stuck to Messi's feet.
It's too much.
That's why
It's a
secretly
long ball from the centre back.
Bradford and Ronaldo are the best teams in the world.
Oh my god.
Anyway, I think on Liverpool, I don't like Firmino up top. I like his sort of role. However, I prefer him as like a number 10, if that makes sense, rather than like a cam. I think they need an out-and-out striker. If they could have got Timo Werner in before Chelsea, obviously, nicked them off him, which was hilarious, by the way. I think
that's why I think they're looking at Mbappe. If he can put now number 9.
They could, yeah. I think Liverpool just need an out-and-out number 9.
Raul Jimenez.
And then they'll be absolutely fantastic. Jimenez would be a good shout there. Ollie Watkins, anyway.
Bit of a stretch, that one. Bit of a stretch.
Who have you put in 3rd position, Joshua?
Now, I know Gab was on about earlier, my outside bet would be Manchester United to finish top, but I've actually put them 3rd. Yes, they brought in Van der Beek or Van der Beek, whatever you call him.
I'm pretty sure it's Beck. I read something about Beck.
Obviously, they've got Fernandes, who's had an outstanding half season. Got in the team of the year and he's only been there since January. They haven't lost a game since they brought in Odi Nagalo in the Premier League. It's quite a weird start, that. But I don't think they'll have enough to finish top. But it's brilliant.
Sorry about that.
But at the same time,
I was trying to pronounce Donny Van der Beek.
but you don't need to know. But at the same time, I think they'd be too good to finish outside of Champions League places, so 3rd place.
Yeah, well, we've had a bit of a disagreement here because I've gone for Spurs in 3rd place, who in my opinion are, the better side of North London compared to Arsenal. Just for this reason alone, I really like Pierre-Emile Højbjerg. I think he's an absolutely fantastic player and has deserved to play at a higher level than Southampton for years now. Obviously, he played for Bayern Munich before then, and he was quite highly rated by Bayern. So when he went to Southampton, it was just a case of him being out of favour compared to some of the world-class midfielders they had. But I'm really glad he's got this move because I think he can really come out of his shell and just prove himself as a, Europa League, Champions League sort of midfielder. And Mourinho has kind of lost it. I'm not a massive fan of his, to be honest with you. I think he will be gone by the end of the season.
Sorry, I'm just reading your notes.
Yeah, I've got no idea what's going on. Mourinho, for me, isn't the manager for Tottenham. I think he will be gone by the end of the season.
I disagree.
Someone world class. That's a massive dig at Mourinho. Please.
I disagree. I think Mourinho is perfect for Tottenham. I think yes, they'll finish 6th in my opinion, but Mourinho for me, he's
Van de Beek. Is it Van de Beek?
He's not as past it as people keep saying. Like if you watch the Tottenham documentary when he first came in, Sky Sports were talking about him, and he wandered up to the screen, told them to F off, and turned off the screen in his office. All on camera, because he obviously no manager likes being slated by the media.
Yeah.
I like Mourinho. I think he will get Tottenham playing, but I just don't see them finishing as high as 3rd.
I also think with Spurs they need a new centre back, definitely with Jan Vertonghen who's departing for Benfica. It was Benfica went, wasn't it?
No, they let go.
He ended up at Benfica, I think, but he did go on a free. Obviously, they've got Doherty to come in and help shore up that back line. But they just need a new centre back, and I think I put it down here. Upamecano, obviously, living Manchester United, he could be an ideal player to fit in there. He's got the physicality. I think he'd work really well with Alderweireld, who's obviously getting on a bit now. Obviously, got Davinson Sanchez and who's the youngster? Is it Traffic Tanganga?
Yeah.
Something like that who's coming through. I think they could all work really well together. I think Upamecano could be the signing for them. But by the way, we completely butchered his name. No idea how to pronounce it.
I don't think we have actually. I think it is Upamecano.
Upamecano. It's how it's spelled in it, but it just doesn't sound right. But yeah, again, depends on injuries because Harry Kane has been a bit injury prone in recently. And I think if they can get him playing back to his best, he could be, well, like Sykes said earlier, a potential leader for the Golden Boot.
Yeah. So into 2nd place now. So obviously, now we'll go for our 2nd place and we'll go for who's going to finish. But obviously, we'll look back because I've just got a couple of things to add in about how the top 2 could finish.
Yeah. We'll go with time at the end.
Yeah. My 2nd place is Chelsea. They brought in Timo Werner, Hakim Ziyech, Ben Chilwell,
Thiago Silva.
Who? I forgot about that. Thiago Silva and potentially Kai Havertz coming in as well. Frank Lampard has done bits in the transfer window this year.
What a man. Unbelievable
window they've had. He's probably just gone up to Abramovich, got down on 2 knees, not like that, pleaded, and he's just gone and given him a couple of bags.
Jesus Christ. Where are we that going?
just giving him a couple of bags of money, not those 2 bags. So yeah, he's done bits in the transfer window this year. Unbelievable. Timo Werner scored on his debut against Brighton. Beautiful ball dinked over the top from Ziyech. Comes to Werner, touch, finish.
Oh, score it.
1-1.
Oh, is that it?
Obviously, 2,500 fans were allowed in.
Getting closer
with
to normality.
Strict COVID regulations. Not going to go into that until
seasons
later on. Yeah. But yeah, Chelsea will finish 2nd, and I will get on to another opinion once Gab has finished talking about his.
I put Manchester City as 2nd position. Obviously, I have a reason for Chelsea being 1st and Man City being 2nd. I feel like Man City do need to strengthen more. Obviously, they had several problems with financial fair play and all about the start of the season where it was all over the place. I mean, it's just corrupt as it comes, really.
What you were for Man City?
Just both, to be honest with you. Ferran Torres, I believe he could be a really decent player. I don't know enough about him to really make a statement about him. I know nobody cared about my statement, but you know what I mean. Nathan Ake, I think it was Jack I was talking to a while ago about Nathan Ake, how I think he could be an absolute quality player.
I mean, I told you he'd be useless.
Yeah, that's what happened. Yeah, I think he'd be fantastic. I like him. I think he's a good ball playing defender at times, and how he was probably the best player in a very poor Bournemouth squad, especially Ryan Fraser departed. There's something about Nathan Ake where I like him, and I think he can really do it at a top level team. Never really got his opportunity at Chelsea, and so obviously went on to pastures new with Bournemouth. I just think he could be really good. Obviously, Guardiola's an absolute world class manager. He'll get his side playing great football, and I think they could really just, that's the way.
Which obviously means my number 1 choice, who will finish top of the Premier League, is Manchester City. They've obviously brought in Nathan Ake, Torres. I don't think either of them will be amazing, but we'll go with it. Phil Foden, this is going to be his season. I know last season was...
It needs to be.
Last season was his sort of breakout season with him getting in England set up, with getting the England squad now. This season will be Phil Foden's season. If Guardiola does not play him, he has to move because he's far too good of a player to play back up and to be on the bench, to be a bench warmer, if you will.
Come on the podcast, Phil.
Got you included.
Jesus Christ.
I really do like him. I think since he's become a dad, he's matured so much.
Phil Foden?
Yeah, did you not know?
His dad?
Yeah,
How old is he?
I think between 1 and 18 months, I think he's
No, I mean... Phil Foden.
Oh, he's 19.
I genuinely never knew that.
He's 19, I think.
Well, from the Benchwarmers Podcast, even though your baby's like 2 years old now, congratulations.
Yes, obviously, even Guardiola said it, since he's had his kid, he has matured so much. A lot of the players have said it as well. I think he's an outstanding player. Obviously, you've got Gabriel Jesus, who will be taking over from Aguero this season. You've got Mahrez, Sterling, Bernardo Silva, De Bruyne, Rodri, Gunn. I mean, just listing those players, it's an unbelievable squad. They need a left back, I will say that. But in my opinion, they will finish top.
Sorry, I'm going to smells.
You are, oh my god, why have you just googled that?
Right. I put Chelsea top of the league. I think the signings this year have been absolutely phenomenal. Phenomenal. Of course, they've also brought in Malang Sarr on a free transfer from Nice. What a nice signing that is.
Hashtag bring back Drogba.
Hashtag bring back Drogba.
And Gab never, ever do that again. He just went and they brought in, who was it?
Malang Sarr?
Yeah,
nice.
they brought in him from Nice, and that's like, nice, signing. So
Okay.
never do that again, ever.
I think some of the brilliant business they've done is quality, because they haven't Sarr they got on a free, Thiago Silva they got on a free, Chilwell they paid for him. Havertz obviously coming in, he's going to be worth every penny, I believe. He's young, he's a cam, something being like because Mason Mount's a decent player. However,
Not as good as you.
not as good as thanks, Jack. It's just Mason Mount. If you want to be challenging for the title, he was playing for Derby 2 seasons ago, and it's not really what you're looking for. I like how Lampard's implemented the youth. However, I believe he needed to make these statement signings for Chelsea to really get back to their fantastic ways that they were at a few seasons ago when obviously they won the league. In that same season, Bradford went to Stamford Bridge, went 2-0 down, and of course brought back to 4-2. What an absolutely wow, just opinion. Timo Werner will be absolutely quality in that squad if they can actually get him going. I see, obviously, he's got the pace, he's got power, he's a poacher, really. We saw that at Leipzig. I know that's not right, Leipzig?
Yeah.
And I think he'll be brilliant under Frank Lampard. I think he can really get him going.
Yeah, so that is it for our Premier League table.
Wait, first, sorry, I forgot to mention this. Something that was really interesting about Timo Werner, which I read about a while back, is how he actually he turned down and moved to Bayern Munich. Oh no, Dortmund it was, sorry. Because he's got a problem with his ears because he has to wear earplugs during games, something like that. Because, because Timo Werner. Because he chose to not join Dortmund because he knew it'd be too hard with the earplugs. Because he physically has something wrong with his hearing, so he can't actually, he struggles with it. I could be wrong, I'll Google it quickly.
Right, anyway, so that's our Premier League predictions done. I predicted Man City to finish top. Gav has predicted Chelsea to finish top. However, I've got written down in my notes, if Chelsea sign Kai Havertz, they'll win the Premier League. Regardless of if Manchester City bring in Kalidou Koulibaly and or Lionel Messi. I've also got written down, Messi will not have an impact on Manchester City.
Whereas I've literally written down, problems worried about FFP, but if they get Messi, then they've won the league.
So, Gab thinks if Man City sign Lionel Messi, no matter if Chelsea sign Kai Havertz, they'll win the league. I've said if Chelsea sign Kai Havertz, regardless of if Manchester City sign Lionel Messi, they will win the league. Well, let's see who's correct.
When we discussed Messi, I think it was it last week or week before?
Something like that.
I remember thinking he won't do it in the Premier League. It's a lot tougher league and it's a lot more competitive compared to the league, which is very just stand about, pass it about, whatever. Then I remember, you told me how Vardy is like 34 years old, he's a top scorer. And obviously Messi is absolutely light years ahead of Jamie Vardy, who's come from non-league, which is obviously...
But he's never played in the Premier League.
That's a story. He's never played in the Premier League, however, if Vardy can do it at 34 years of age, then Messi will absolutely tear his league apart, I think. Even as a different player, he'll be able to get the assists that Vardy perhaps couldn't, he'll definitely be able to get the goals that Vardy could, and even more on top of that. I think he could be an absolutely, I don't want to say phenomenal,
phenomenal.
Amazing signing for Man City if he comes in. Obviously, it's going to be costly, especially with all the league problems going on right now with about his contract and those circumstances. If he comes to the Premier League though, I just can't see how Man City can be stopped. Obviously, especially if they bring in Koulibaly as well.
Problem. This is stop recording.
Alright, well, I'll call.
No, let me work out where it's not recording.
Does they need a new centre back definitely with Jan Vertonghen who's the pipe?
Oh my god, it stopped at Tottenham. It stopped at your third place.
Alright, well, I'll just use the normal audio for the rest of it.
Alright, okay.
And we'll just keep going. I'll cut this out.
Alright,
yeah, we'll just go to normal.
Yeah.
Alright, we're going to go. Alright.
We're just going to sit with normal audio for now. Just speak up a bit. Or do you want to start recording?
No, I'm just going to
Just speak up a bit.
Yeah. Should I apologise about audio?
What?
Apologise about the audio?
No, we'll just put it in the notes.
Just
have it as like an up thing.
Okay.
Right, we'll just click record and we'll just wait a second.
Right. But yeah, what's your opinion on Messi then?
We're not. Have we got? Oh yeah, shit. We're gonna go off. Okay, we'll just
Right, let me do that again. How should we get back into it?
Go. Well, no, because we've done the Messi bit, so just put. Well, we just started from. Well, that's our Premier League predictions.
Then go into that, Joe.
Josh believes Chelsea will. Josh believes Man City will win the league. I believe Chelsea will. Just go from there.
Okay. Right, so that's our Premier League predictions for 2020/21 season. Of course, Josh believes Manchester City will win the league. I believe Chelsea will win the league. What do you lot believe? Jack, what do you believe? Chelsea, he's with me. But yeah, let us know what you think and how realistic it's going to be. We'll probably come back to these at the end of the season if we're still going.
We'll probably come back to them about December time, look at them and laugh at how
far off we are.
Yeah.
Especially your prediction about West Ham being bottom league. You know how they'll have pulled off an absolute.
What, they're the top of the league
instead
of bottom?
Top of the league. But yeah, we're hopefully going to be doing this in the next week for the Championship League when League 2 all into one, which will be a massive podcast. So hopefully you all enjoy that, which is going to be coming soon. And of course, welcome to season 2. Hopefully it's going to be a lot more fun, a lot more interesting. You can really get behind us with some of the points that we're making and why you enjoyed the podcast.
Yes, because they heard that with that audio.
Apologies. But yeah, that's going to bring the end to this week's episode of the Benchwarmers Podcast. As usual, I'd like to thank my co-host Josh Sykes.
Thank you for having me back on for season 2.
I'd also like to thank our cameraman Jack in the background.
Cheers for not firing me, fellas.
Right, that's right, mate. We're very close. There'll be a link to all his music stuff he's doing in the description. It's all very good to listen to. So go check it out. And yeah, we'll see you all next week.